Hey everyone, it's Sleepy Reader. I've got a short bit of comic book history out of my comic book collection that I thought was interesting. I've been poking around in my comic book collection a lot since I started watching a lot of other people's comic book videos on YouTube. It's got me thinking a lot. So I was pleased to rediscover in my own collection Warrior magazine, which was from England. It came out in 1982. Probably the found it in the second comic book shop I'd ever been into in my life, and it was very exciting. And it was the beginning of two fairly major Alan Moore storylines. This was 2 or 3 years, well, maybe 1 or 2 years before Alan Moore started his Swamp Thing run. And it was certainly the first I'd ever heard of him, and probably the first most people had ever heard of him. Probably where he started getting some attention. One was V for Vendetta, started in this issue, and a mystery hero who, I'll spoil it, turned out to be a hero by the name of Marvelman, later to become called Miracle Man when reprinted in the United States. It was kind of a take on Shazam, on Captain Marvel. He said Komoda, and then he turned into Marvel Man. And as an adult, as a middle-aged man, he'd forgotten about all his adventures as a boy turning into a superhero. And you could tell right off that Alan Moore was brilliant. And after Frank Miller, it seemed like he was the only comic book writer that counted at the time. It's very exciting stuff. There was actually lots of great things in here. It made me feel like there were better comic books in England, better comic book talent or just work being done in England at the time than in the U.S. This cover story about Axel Pressbutton, the psychotic cyborg, was a lot of fun. There was this very good Father Shanador, drawn by John Bolton, and other stuff. Spiral Path. There's V for Vendetta. It was beautiful black and white work. Sad how yellowed my pages are now. But it all looked great. The stories were adult without being tacky or tasteless for the most part, except when they meant to be. So that's issue number 1. Issue number 2 then featured the no longer mystery superhero Marvelman on the cover, and was the start of another series that was, in my memory, quite good. I'm going to have to reread it, called The Madman, which was by Paul Neary. Gary Leach was a really great artist doing The Miracle Man, although I don't think he lasted very long. And in fact, he's still doing issue 2. But very shortly, Steve Dillon took over, and then Alan Davis, who both also did fantastic jobs on this. So there's lots of talent in this magazine. There's the Axel Pressbutton. So issue 2, issue 3, featuring Madman on the cover, and also one of their other popular characters, this alien, which I think was kind of a psychotic killer named Zerk, who was part of the Pressbutton universe. It was always exciting to find something different at the comic book store. There's issue number 4, which was also called the Summer Special. There's another character Alan Moore created called Warp Smith. Issue 5, featuring a sort of a photo illustration with For V is for Vendetta. Definitely, this is definitely one of the things that just kept me reading comics at a time when I was starting to feel like maybe I should be too old for comics. But it was just too good. Issue 7, Miracle Man, or Marvel Man on both sides. I'm wondering now if one can get trades of all the Miracle Men in color, or whether they're still tangled up in legal issues and you can't get them. Yeah, here is Alan Davis doing the artwork on Miracle Man. Number 8 with a great cover by John Bolton. And the last issue I ever found, number 9. I don't know if, I can't remember anymore if it was some period where I ran out of money, or I think probably my comic book shop, which was the only one in the town I lived in, and comic book shops weren't that common in 1982, if they stopped carrying it. So anyway, I think it's a great piece of comic book history. Hope you enjoyed seeing it. I've really loved everyone's videos that I've seen on YouTube about their comic book collections, about their hauls, their comic book reviews. And some of you, I've left comments on your videos in the last few weeks under my real name, Damian Kilby. But now I've started this YouTube channel, and I didn't want people to search for Damian Kilby and come up with comic book videos. So, especially if someday I'm looking for a job and this is the first thing that pops up. So I'm doing this under the name Sleepy Reader. But I'm Damian. Talk to you soon.